This is a review for The Walking Dead, Season 5, Episode 15, Try. So, of course, Nicholas the douche lies about what happened. We all saw that coming. I loved Glenn's speech to him and how Glenn told Nicholas he is no longer allowed to go outside the walls. I especially enjoyed Nicholas asking, "Are you threatening me?" and Glenn responding, "No, I'm keeping you alive." I really wonder if Deanna is going to believe Nicholas, especially after what happened with Rick at the end. She almost seemed to know something about Nicholas's story didn't make sense. Her not accepting Carol's casserole and burning the note was a bit off and makes me wonder how much she thinks Glenn did this, and maybe is having second thoughts about Rick. Still enjoying Sasha. Some can adjust back to life after terrible things happen, and other people have a really hard time with it. Sasha isn't being annoying or stupid, but playing a true person who's experienced a lot of trauma very quickly. I also like Michonne's flashbacks to her using the katana as Sasha fired her gun. The swings were so beautifully timed with the sounds of the gun firing. I believe Michonne is realizing that as much as she wants to hang up her katana and start new, she won't be able to. I was also kind of worried about Rosita getting so much talk time. Is she gonna die next? The Carl and Enid thing is a bit weird. I don't know. I'm not much for teenage romance, and this type of subplot just doesn't do it for me. The interview with the actor who plays Carl, Chandler Riggs, was pretty funny. He was talking about how him and Enid were looking at the tree before and decided there was no way they were both gonna fit. Surprise, you did! Did anyone see it coming that Nicholas saw and took the gun? That was pretty crazy, and I did not expect it to be Nicholas. Aaron and Daryl finding the sacrifice lady was also pretty crazy. I want to know who's carving the W's into their frickin' foreheads. Also, stop doing the blood splatter lens. It's stupid and takes you out of the show. The Rick and Jesse part played out so well. One thing that I thought was weird is when Jesse went, "Would you do this for anyone else?" and Rick went, "No." Dude, you used to be a cop. I'm sure you handled these type of situations before. Or maybe he means he'd only do it for certain people now, post-apocalypse, who knows. It's also interesting that Jesse and Pete didn't seem at first like they were in an abusive relationship, and looking back on it, I'm glad they portrayed her differently than most battered women. Most of the time on television, a woman suffering from domestic abuse is shown as very introverted, won't talk to other men, and like something is obviously wrong. But not all abused women are like that. Some are very strong women that just get caught in a bad cycle. They show Jessie as a smart, kind woman, and I think that was atypical for television, but also super great. It was also so sad when Carl reveals Jessie putting a bolt on the inside of her kid's closet. Like, that is so crazy to think that this is the norm and it has to be in your life. It's even sicker how Deanna didn't want to do anything about it because Pete was their surgeon. I get the needs of the many outweighed the needs of the few, but there had to be a better solution than that. Oh, and did anyone think Rick was going to cap Pete when Pete went for his drunk nighttime walk and came across Rick? Also, it shows how spoiled they are that walking around drunk at night is considered a normal, okay thing. The fight between Pete and Rick was awesome. When Pete hit his wife to get her out of the way, it was bad, and then Rick did the same thing to Carl, and it just went from bad to worse. The ending of the episode was also perfect. Rick is ranting and trying to start his dictatorship, and Michonne is like vetoed and knocks him out. Thank you, Michonne. I guess we'll find out next week how Deanna takes this whole Rick explosion and how she deals with her son Aiden's death. This has been the best season so far, and I am so excited. So make sure you come back next for the finale review, and then also we're doing comics versus show for this episode. It won't have any spoilers from the show, but it will for the comics.